So I think the answer is quite obvious. Now I don't need any external cybersecurity company or whatever because I can use AI.
Anthropic had recently released its Mythos model, and basically they say that they can autonomously find like up to 83% of high-severity vulnerabilities practically in hours. Does this mean that cybersecurity is becoming a little bit more of a commodity?
The biggest mistake right now would be.
Today, we are with Sergey Lozhkin, head of global research and analysis team East for Asia Pacific, Middle East, Turkey, and Africa, leading a team of elite cybersecurity researchers focusing on cyber espionage, targeted attacks, AI and financial threats, darknet, vulnerabilities analysis, and cybercrime in general. Welcome to POV, or Point of View by Netpublik, where we try to get all points of view around a topical story. The tech news seems to be all about AI, or what they can do, who they can replace, how much savings will cost. But with more AI models coming out of the woodwork, offering security solutions, SaaS solutions, how can cybersecurity companies position themselves in a market where everybody is FOMOing into AI for security?
Well, I think the answer is obvious and it's quite easy. The cybersecurity companies should be FOMOing into AI themselves, like they already do. And obviously, I think it's not a differentiator in cybersecurity. It's table stakes and it's doubling the stakes. And from the perspective of the Kaspersky security researcher, I'm using AI heavily, my team using AI heavily, and my colleagues using AI heavily. And imagine a company that is FOMOing into the AI, not cybersecurity company, but any other company. And this company thinks, okay, now I don't need any external cybersecurity company or whatever because I can use AI to protect myself. It can, and the company that wants to protect itself, it can use AI and models to enforce the internal network, for example, or to enforce the information. The AI will help how to properly adjust the system to make it more resistant to attacks. But the thing is that if there is a cybersecurity company that exists for years on the market and it's using AI itself, the power and the knowledge and the possibility of cybersecurity company will overcome, and it will be doubled or tripled in terms of the same thing. So the cybersecurity company will do it with the help of AI twice or third time or four times better than the company who doesn't relate to cybersecurity and is just using AI tools, right? So everybody is enforcing themselves, and we are doing this. So imagine, for example, Kaspersky, right, or any other company who has their years of experience in fighting APTs, like advanced persistent threats, right? Using AI, we now can fight much more APTs, and we can do this faster, more efficient. So I think the answer is quite obvious.
So basically, it's like AI can help, but you still need the knowledge to enhance using the AI.
Yes, knowledge and experience. And AI is trained, right? It's trained on specific data. It's trained on various sources of data, and it's very powerful. But still, the data that has been collected by antivirus companies, cybersecurity companies, from telemetry, from whatever, and experience, this data is unique. And public LLMs, they cannot be trained on this data because this data is internal and private. And only we, for example, can train our own LLMs and system on our internal data, and our models would be completely different and will be much more powerful than the public models that trade on the data that is available for public.
So, Anthropic had recently released its Mythos model, and basically they say that they can autonomously find like up to 83% of high-severity vulnerabilities practically in hours. Does this mean that cybersecurity is becoming a little bit more of a commodity? Or like what can companies do, businesses can do to protect themselves?
Nice question, but no, doesn't commoditize cybersecurity. Well, imagine vulnerabilities, searching for vulnerabilities, and doing vulnerabilities assessment is just a slice, just one piece of the global cybersecurity, right? And yes, the model is very powerful. It's now overcoming the human, very experienced vulnerability researcher to search for these vulnerabilities, and it can find more, it can find much faster, but it's just a slice. And please remember that vulnerabilities is not the only thing that leads to biggest attacks in history. And what we can see right now on the threat landscape, vulnerability is a slice of it. It's just a part of it. It's very helpful having a vulnerability for a bad guy to get access to the systems, but still. It works both ways. Imagine Mythos, who can find vulnerabilities. Yes, it's finding new vulnerabilities, and immediately the team responsible for finding the vulnerability can immediately patch it. So the vector of attack is decreasing for a bad guys. And the same way, not speaking about Mythos completely, but many other AI systems, models, they can find vulnerabilities for a bad guys. So it's always a fight, and nothing changed on the landscape, on the area of cybersecurity. Just it's been heavily in, right? So, but the play of a sword and shield, it remains completely the same. Shield became enforced, and the sword became enforced. So we just enforced everything, but globally, nothing changed that dramatically. And the thing is that vulnerability must be exploited. And to exploit vulnerability properly, it's another way, right? If you have vulnerability, it doesn't help you much if you don't know how to exploit properly, and so on, and so on, and so on. So for me, modern threats, they evolve, they become much more bigger, they became enforced, but the play is absolutely the same.
Okay, so basically, I mean, a lot of companies are thinking, oh, you know what? I'll just have an AI agent. It'll cost me $125 in tokens. But basically, what you're saying is that having the AI agent is good, but it may not be able to. It can find things, but it may not be able to resolve the exploits or the vulnerabilities.
Yes and no. It may resolve, it may exploit. Like we see, the biggest models like Mythos, they definitely can exploit themselves. They definitely can get a full control of the system, and so on and so on. But to find these vulnerabilities, to exploit them, you need a system that is not patched, is not protected, and the same will be used to patch and to protect, right? So it's the same model. And like I told you, there would be less vulnerable system because everybody would be using LLMs to find vulnerabilities in their own code, in their own product. So there would be less vulnerabilities from the start. For example, a company creates a product and there would be much less vulnerabilities when they scan the source code or even ready product with competitive LLMs. So to find vulnerability in there, you need a definitely same level LLM, because the less level LLM or the human, they would not be able to find vulnerability in there. Less vulnerabilities means less way to intrude. Nothing changed again. Before that, humans were competing with each other. Developers created code. They tried to make non-vulnerable from scratch, from the very beginning. And hackers, they were trying to find the vulnerabilities in there. Nothing changed. Now the LLMs play just it.
What would you like to say to businesses that how to further secure their networks and application in this new AI era? Like what should they consider?
First of all, I think the most important thing to provide to everybody, to save everybody from a position of security researcher, the biggest mistake right now would be assuming AI tools, no matter how powerful, they will replace the security discipline, right? They don't. They won't replace security discipline. They won't replace proper employees training, right? If employee doesn't know anything about cybersecurity, even I don't know, cybersecurity hygiene, like what to do with new links, what to do with social engineering. If they have no idea, no AI will help you because a human is the weakest vector. It would be, it always has been, and it will be in the future. And without the proper knowledge, without the good practices of cybersecurity hygiene, uh, proper standards, evaluation, and all these kind of things, it should be and it will be enhanced by AI. And it could be planned by AI, it could be implemented by AI. But still, AI won't help you just as it is.
Thank you, Sergey, for your time. It's good to have this point of view in the midst of all this hubbub of AI replacing everything. But it's good to know that some traditional computer science is still needed out there. So that's it for our segment today. If you have an interesting story that you'd like to share with us, do send us an email at media@netpublic.id. Thank you and see you next time.